Hello and welcome to our mindfulness experience for week 2 of our inclusive theology series. We do many things every day without thinking or being aware of what we are doing. Think about times that you travel between two places and don't really remember the journey. Still, before you know it, you arrive at your destination. We call this autopilot mode. In many ways, it can help us. Routine tasks can be done easily without thought. However, it also means that we do many things without much awareness of what is happening and fail to be fully present and get the most from the experience. Living in autopilot also means our minds are less focused on what we are doing, and instead, it may be elsewhere. If you've had an experience of sexual assault, your mind may wander into things associated with that experience, even when you are doing something completely different. However, it is also common to think about the past experience of sexual assault when you are intimate with a partner. In the same way, a task such as making a cup of tea becomes an automatic habit, so can worrying thoughts, unhelpful behaviors, and difficult feelings that become an automatic habit if we are not conscious of being in the present. Mindfulness offers a way to step out of autopilot and the unhelpful habits that come with it. It can help us to get more from our day-to-day experience, to be more present in the things that we do, but it can also allow us to step back from difficult emotions, to be less caught up in them. Mindfulness can be described as awareness of present moments with acceptance. So what do we mean by this? If we take each of the 3 phrases underlined above in turn, we can understand this statement better. Awareness can be broken down into 3 steps: stop or slow down. When we are acting in autopilot, we respond to situations, thoughts, and emotions in automatic ways. The first step toward being more mindful is to stop or slow down what you were doing. Give yourself some space. Giving yourself some space can allow your mind to settle and provide a basis for reacting in a different way. Observe. The next step is to observe what is going on for us. To do this, we first focus our attention on something. This can be on anything: an object around us, sounds that are going on around us. Most commonly, we can focus our attention on our breath. As we do so, we begin to notice the things that take our attention away from our breath. We notice where our attention goes. Return. Once we have noticed that we have become distracted, that something has taken our attention away from our breath, we can note what has taken our attention away and then return our attention back to our breath. Present moment. Sometimes we can be completely absorbed in the activity we are doing. However, sometimes many things can take our attention away from our present experience. Mindfulness is a way to bring us back to the present moment. Acceptance. The present moment is affected by how we view or judge it. To accept the present is to experience it without judging it. It is to see things in the moment as they are, not as we might want or expect them to be, or what we fear they might become. We are accepting our experience, pleasant or unpleasant, as it is. So how can mindfulness help after trauma? Studies have found that mindfulness helps reduce distracting thoughts, increases focus on physical sensation, and is helpful for sexual difficulties. It helps us to learn to be in the moment by being aware of our physical sensations. And we want to build on compassion and activate our soothing system, which we can do through mindfulness. However, some survivors of sexual trauma may find mindfulness difficult or triggering and disassociate. Mindfulness may be quite distressing if it means sitting with sensations and emotions that are usually avoided. And if your mind shuts off during your experience of trauma, the feeling of shutting off can occur again when you're faced with similar or difficult emotions. If you experience these difficulties, it's okay. It's a protective mechanism to keep you safe. You can opt out of the mindfulness exercise and practice being present in a different way. One way to do this is through everyday mindfulness. To begin our practice, find a comfortable sitting position, and if you feel comfortable closing your eyes, do so. Sit quietly for a moment and focus on your breathing. Allow the breath to come down into your diaphragm slowly and evenly, and then leave your body slowly and evenly. If you find this difficult, you may simply want to try to focus on the sensation of your breath coming in and leaving through your nose. Try spending 2 minutes simply concentrating on the experience of breathing in and out. If you don't like focusing on your breath, or you don't like closing your eyes, you could use a pebble or a shell or some other small object and try to focus your attention on the experience of looking at it and feeling it, or looking at a blank wall. As you focus on your breath, you may notice that within just a few moments, your mind will have wandered off onto something else. This is called mind wandering. If there are things that are worrying us, our minds easily get pulled into thinking about them and away from the present moment. This can also happen if there are things we are looking forward to, like a party, or if there are things that we need to do, like pay a bill or remember to call a friend. And we can find our minds skipping to them. This is very typical of how our minds are, and indeed recent research evidence suggests that it is our natural state. One aspect of practicing mindfulness is just learning to notice when our minds wander and bringing our attention gently and warmly back to what we want to focus on. Mindfulness is not making our minds pay attention or emptying our mind of thoughts. Telling ourselves off for not being able to pay attention is not being mindful either. Indeed, it is counterproductive. As noticing where our minds wander to can be very important in helping us to identify other issues that are bothering us. When our minds wander, it is not a sign that we have failed to be mindful. It is a part of the very process of being mindful. It is the act of noticing and then returning the attention to the desired focus that is central to the mindfulness. The very fact that you find this difficult is itself evidence that you are engaging in mindful practice.